Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Founder Singleton. This is almost my 1 week anniversary of being a startup founder. It was a great 3-day weekend. I got to go camping for the 4th of July. Even as a startup founder, I do take time off. In fact, a big goal for me in this startup is to have a better work-life balance and try the 4-day work week idea. I personally feel that it is unlikely that I will get any more value out of the 5th day of work in a week than I did the previous 4 anyways. So better work-life balance, definitely part of this. Probably unusual for a founder, but again, I've been in this career now for a little while. So, so what's new? I've got a business plan. I've met with 4 different founders in the last 2 weeks. Many of them ex-Googlers. Most of them are people I worked with. One was just a random LinkedIn connection from a local founder. And it's definitely steeled my resolve that I feel like I'm on a mission from God at this point to improve developer productivity, particularly in this this age of AI, and how it's interacting with software engineers and accelerating them. So after talking to all these people and reasoning about is this a good idea? What pitfalls should I avoid? I think I'm ready to roll with actually coding at this point. My hypothesis at this point is that with better tooling, I can reduce the amount of time that pull requests sit around by 90%. And by sit around, I mean, by the time code is ready to review versus when it's merged. A recommendation from a former coworker was this tool called BuildPad that I tried for the first time this morning to figure out, to reason about, to reason about the business impact. It was a pretty neat tool. It definitely was pretty useful for doing some research about defining my problem statement and impact. And you get to a certain point after a couple of steps in that it wants money, and I'm trying to do as much as possible without spending money. I'm bootstrapping this myself. So I didn't get to investigate, didn't get to use it for brainstorming solutions, but it was a good way of brainstorming value. I did use a fair amount of Gemini to define my business plan and to kind of work through it a little bit. So, it was starting to give me a little bit of off the rails advice that I didn't agree with as far as the open source community. So I'm actually, now trying to tune it here. I had asked it for how could you improve my business plan? And it was basically saying you should limit the community tier. And it's, probably, I understand where it's coming from, but ultimately I care about the impact more than the money, which, thank God I'm not venture capital founded, but we'll see what it says now. Unlimited community business plan. How do you make unlimited sustainable? Lots of interesting things here. It's, my platform is all about improving developer velocity, and so much development happens in open source. Now I've, got a reasoned about business case, and I'm curious. One of the things that a friend Joseph had recommended was setting 30-day milestones. In this day age of LLM, enhanced software development. What should the goal be for my first 30 days? I'm sorry, I'm still typing slow, still have a broken finger. Yeah, so let's see. What does it have to say here? Where should I be 30 days from now? Again, this is all pattern matching, so there is not really a God in the machine. We'll try this, and, well, what should it be? A functional, shareable prototype. I like that. I've already got the qualitative validation, so I'm good there. But yeah, let's make a prototype. So I'm going to go ahead and close my browser up, and we're going to try a little bake-off here between Gemini and Claude. Now, both have these command line tools now for accelerating software development. Claude I've used over the weekend for the first time. And Gemini I have not actually, well, I did try. I'll be honest, I did try it, but I ran into some limits. For both Claude and Gemini, I'm going to be using their Pro plans. The thing that's really weird for the Gemini command line is it doesn't seem to actually respect the Google AI Pro plan. So it runs out of quota pretty quickly, unless they fixed it in the last couple of days. But yeah, so I'm going to have it. I've already written a really detailed prompt here that I'm going to feed both of them and see who gives me the better output. I've written Go code now for over a decade. I'm pretty picky when it comes to user interface design, even if I suck at it. So I'm going to be the judge here on Claude versus Gemini command lines to who gives me the better program. So let's copy, let's paste it, and let's start the bake-off here. Gemini, okay, so got authed, gonna paste it, and we're gonna paste it into Claude as well. So they're both working at it. Now let's see. All right. So Gemini, both tools will ask about running external commands. Looks like Gemini has made a plan. Both have asked to create directories. They're asking where they are. I'm going to keep flipping between the two. We're off to the races at this point. Yes, allow always. Yes, allow always. Okay. Looks like Gemini is already running some Go commands and making some templates. And where is Claude? Claude is not far behind. I'm going to start opening the directories here so I can start seeing what's going on. So where are we at, Claude? All right, so far Claude only has a Go module. Let's see, where is Gemini? Cool. Gemini's already got some code written. So far, Gemini does not seem to be using the Go HTTP library, which is kind of a surprise. Oh, sorry, the Go GitHub library. Gemini seems stuck. Where is it? Okay, it's asking for more things. And now Gemini's written some code. Let's check out what it's got here. Yeah. I did ask it to use the auth token command to get information. It also is skipping the Go HTTP library or Go GitHub library. You know, I kind of like that approach, especially in this day of AI development. You don't need dependencies as much as you used to, so you don't have to keep up with that never-ending raft of updates and CVs and everything like that. So, my intent is to keep my dependencies very small. And so what I've asked it for is a dashboard of pull requests, which is part of something that I want to implement for my startup, but it's certainly not everything about it. So it looks like Gemini is trying to run the application. It looks like it's honestly stuck. I wonder if I have a dashboard running somewhere. Determining pathing capabilities. I don't know. I'm just going to see. Looks like someone's running a web server. Okay, it looks like we have not implemented things quite yet. P, there we go. All right, so one of y'all has a PR dashboard up and running. I can't tell. I assume that's Gemini. So Gemini looks stuck right now. Let's see where Claude is going. Cool. Claude is allegedly done, so let's try it out. Although I think we're gonna run into a port conflict. Let's see. Add a port flag to listen on an alternative port. We'll have it do that for both. That way I can run both of them. Now, I'm going to start looking at some of the code here. So Gemini looks like reasonable-ish code, actually surprisingly short. I'm going to say I would fail this for a code review because you don't really need the get. You don't need that verb there. Get is implied in Go code reviews. So Gemini is already failing my code review. Yeah, all these gets everywhere that would not pass muster. Let's see how Claude is doing. Claude also does the same quirk. Code seems reasonable. I mean, other than that, that's the only thing I would say so far. All right, and it looks like Gemini is stuck again here. But, okay. Well, let's go ahead and run it. Go run. So we got a port at 8080. I use this new service? I don't know. It doesn't seem to be respecting the prompt that I wrote. Let me just double check on my prompt here. Let's see. I don't remember where I stuck that prompt. Okay. Somewhere I have a prompt, but all right. Let's go. Okay. So Gemini doesn't seem to be... I don't get the URL format for Gemini. Let's go. Where is the web request? Main. Okay. So it's /user. Okay, fine. User. All right, here's the big reveal. Will it serve a list of PRs? I don't actually know if I have any. Just going to try another person here. There's very little debugging information here. This is looking like a fail here. So I'm going to go start running the Claude one. User T. Stromberg. All right, hey, Claude, you did it. Let's try someone else. There you go. All right. Claude is the clear winner here. Gemini is just kind of sitting around doing nothing. So there you go. No big deal. User interface looks okay. It's not what I would ship, but not too bad. So would it pass my code review? Would Claude pass my code review? I'd still have comments. I do think I'd have to cite some things, but it seems to have, you know, it is nice and minimal. It does use the get verb a lot more than you would normally see in a professional Go program. And it doesn't have unnecessary comments, so that's cool. You know, I kind of dig that they just raw dogged the API here. They're not using any Go library. Seems to do the trick. So yeah, with any luck, I will have a prototype up and running this week for a little dashboard, and the next thing I'll work on is you know, I'll do a video on generating some Chrome extensions and see how these tools do with that. I'll probably try Cursor as my next experiment. I did try Windsurf over the weekend for doing some blog stuff and had great tab completion, but it also had a lot of quirks that I didn't appreciate. So that's it for now. Till the next episode, y'all. Take care and see you then.